All right, Ben Titley, we're live, mate. How you doing?
Mate, all good. Good for seeing you. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for doing this. I mean, obviously your phone has just been exploding in the last 24, 48 hours type thing. And look, mate, the news kind of took us all by surprise because you've been a candidate for a long time. And so I think this was just kind of surprising news at this point in wherever we are in the season. We're not that far from, World Championships, really, if it's in June now. So, yeah, tell me what's your point of view on this, mate?
Yeah, a crazy week, mate. A crazy week, as I'm sure you can imagine. I would say this: I've been in Canada 10 years now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time there. My family's been brought up there. I have a house there. The athletes that I've got in the group, particularly the athletes in the group now, are a group I'm very close to, that I've thoroughly enjoyed spending time with and helped develop and achieve things maybe they never thought were possible. And I get that World Champs is close. I get that Commonwealth Games is close, but unfortunately, the world of contracts, particularly my contract, doesn't work through till June or through to July. I wish it did. I would have liked to have stayed longer, but my contract was up here in March, and there we go, onwards and upwards. I mean, I am disappointed to leave, these athletes, people like Penny I've worked with for 10 years. I've known her since she was 12 years old, athletes like Summer McIntosh through her formative years, the last couple of years, helping to get to that world #1 ranking and everything else. That's a lot of time and effort. And she's probably the hardest worker that I've ever had the pleasure to coach. There's athletes like Kylie Mars, who I think if you spoke to anyone in the world of swimming would agree, she's probably the nicest person you could ever wish to coach, as well as being a phenomenal athlete and all of that. So without going through all the names and your Josh Liendos and Sydney Pickrams, even people like Sydney Pickram, just having that experience at World Short Course where the week before she wasn't, well, not forget a week, 4 days before, she wasn't going to go to the meet. She didn't want to go. And I think
she said that,
yeah, she's told this story already, so I'm not speaking out of school, but helping a young person like that then become world champion a few days later, like that's coaching. You know what I mean? That isn't training. That isn't your heart rate sets. That isn't your speed sets. That's dealing with people, having relationships with great people. And they're all great people and great families, the families that have reached out and all that. Josh Liendo and his dad reaching out. And I mean, these kids have a great future in the sport of swimming. With me, without me, it's partly irrelevant. They're the talent. They're the people that get it done. I just hope I've been able to create a culture and a thought process of winning, or at least competing to win, that will set them up for the rest of their lives, not just swimming. And so I feel very proud about that, and I will miss the athletes in the group that are there. I know that they're in good hands. I've got nothing but good things to say about Coach Ryan and Jono and Elton and all the staff in the performance center there. They know how to do it. They've got the template of success, and I don't see any reasons why they won't continue that ball rolling. That's my deepest hope. And again, I'm thankful to have worked with Swimming Canada for 10 years. It's a long time, particularly when you're not a Canadian. And I definitely think I left them in a better place than when I joined them. And I wish them nothing but the best in the go forward. Sometimes in life, things don't work out the way you'd want them. And that's certainly the instance here for me with regards to the immediate Canadian future. But like I said, onwards and upwards to other things, my man.
Well, it sounds that way, mate. Like within a very short period of time of hearing about the Canadian announcement, here we are today. Big announcements come out to say that you're going to be heading up the Spanish organization. So give us some insight into that.
Well, I wouldn't say I'd be heading up the Spanish organization. I think there's a few people on bigger pay grades and more say than I do. But yeah, I mean, it came about quickly because they'd already, as happens when you're, I don't want to come across as a douche. If you're okay at what you do, if you're decent at what you do, there's always communications, particularly on the international level, from federations asking, are you available? What would you like to do? Is this something you'd be interested in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with numerous federations, those very loose comments or conversations had been going on back and forth for a while. Nothing had happened. You know, I said to my bosses in Swimming Canada, I want to stay in Canada. And I said to the people asking, I'm happy in Canada at the moment. But obviously those loose discussions or those inquiries from those people had happened at points, just very, very informally, nothing ever signed, nothing ever documented down. And so when you don't have one job, mate, and you've got a family and the family's growing by a factor of 2, you have to make decisions for your family. And that's what I've done here in terms of my twins are now due, which would have changed my personal circumstances anyway this summer. Being away from family and bringing up kids is not easy. And as we've discussed before, you know, this is my second marriage. I do not want to be onto number 3, mate. And if I was not catering for that side of my life, that would be something that would be a challenge. And so that's a big important factor for me, as it is for anybody, I guess, that has kids and that sort of thing. So so this, in terms of living just over an hour away from where my wife's family lives, being closer to the UK, where I don't want to get too much into it, but my mum has pretty bad dementia now. And I don't know how many more good visits I've got to go and spend quality time with her. And that's very, very important to me. And that will be easier from Spain. So from a family perspective, Sant Cugat, and I don't know if you've ever been, it is one of the most beautiful towns I have ever been to, probably only rivaled by San Sebastian, also in Spain.
I've been to San Sebastian. Beautiful place.
Hey, what a beautiful place. Unfortunately, they don't have a high performance swim center in San Sebastian. So with regards to trying to keep my eye in on high performance sport and catering for the family piece and being closer to my mum and my family back in the UK, this was, once we didn't have a gig in Canada, this was the next best option, you know, and I don't mean that in any derogatory way. I couldn't be more pumped to go to Spain. Barcelona is probably in my top 3 cities in the world. And I know that that's probably no great surprise, because anyone that's been there, like, well, of course it is. It's an awesome city. So, you know, it's very well connected for travel. It's got great weather. The facility there in Car, 10-lane outdoor 50-meter pool, 10-lane indoor 50-meter pool, athletics, gyms, full sports science, medical type vibe. And, you know, you got a lot of great swim clubs around there. And I know what it's like when a high performance coach goes into somewhere, and a lot of places aren't into high performance centers. And I kind of get that. But I've been real impressed with the clubs that are around that area. And there's some coaches there in Spain who've done phenomenal things over the last few years. So I look forward to getting in, and part of my job is to help educate coaches, to help try to, bring up the level of not just swimming, but of coaching or of thought process, I guess, in the country. And I don't expect that to be an overnight fix. I don't expect that to be quick, but I definitely think that that's something that I'm really excited about, you know, but certainly excited about living and working in Barcelona and all of that is going to be awesome.
Absolutely, mate. Well, I understand you're in Florida right now, holidaying. How long until the turnaround? How long until you get out to Barcelona?
I don't know if that's been released and stuff yet. It isn't going to be for a while. Obviously, my priority at the moment is to spend some time with family and all of that. I'm actually in, you know, a guy called, very, very well-known coach here in America, Jay Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah, Jay, know him really well. Yeah,
I'm in Jay's beachfront apartment, mate. I could show you the ocean down there.
Oh, geez. Nice to have friends, mate. Look at that.
There you go. So, but no, I chatted with Jay last night about all of this stuff, and fascinating for any young coaches out there who get the opportunity to chat to established coaches, whether they're still coaching now or they've retired like Jay or whatever it may be. Man, some of the parallels between our stories on different things and the learning you can get from people like Jay. Yep. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful that I've been around people like Jay and obviously Bill and all of those people through the years. So hopefully that sets me up in good stead, mate. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about the fact that I have a lot of freedom in this role in Spain.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm allowed to have a small group of foreigners work with the best Spanish athletes. So obviously my real goal is to get the very best talent into Barcelona, and to help them achieve on the international scene.
Are there some athletes there right now that you know of?
Not really. So, I mean, I know the coach there, Olaf Wildeboer. I don't know if
Oh,
you
okay,
know.
he's there. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his brother was Ashvin, backstroke boy, who back in the day when I used to coach world record holder, world champion Liam Tancock, Ashwin was one of Liam's closest rivals, and also his dad, Paulus. I knew Paulus pretty well just from being around on the side. Sadly, he's not with us anymore, but so very excited to join Olaf and get things going. I don't know a huge amount about the athletes who are in the center currently. I'm sure I'll get up to speed on that quickly. Again, that's not something I've ever been delved in recently because my focus has been on the great Canadian athletes that I've been working with. And so this is all new to me from that perspective. So I'm sure I'll catch up. I'm not due to start officially, I think, a lot later in the summer.
Okay.
So a bit of time for now to try to maybe lay some foundations and maybe, see which international kids, top level international kids are interested in swimming in Spain. I'm sure there's some Europeans that it would suit quite well, so.
Are you, you're the head coach of this center. Are you also the head coach of Spain or not?
Not that I'm aware of, mate. Now, if that comes with an extra pay tag, I'll take it. But no, I don't.
So just the head coach of this center in Barcelona then?
Yeah, a very good friend of mine, an ex-roommate of mine at Olympics and stuff, Sean Kelly. I'm not entirely sure on the titles. I think he might be the national performance director.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if they have a head coach or not. So who knows? We'll see what happens down the line. But for right now, I'll just help with whatever they need help with and try and find my feet and see where we can make the biggest impact, and we'll take it from there. But I mean, the immediate goals will be getting the best Spanish athletes who want to buy into being great on the world level to try to get to meet them, get to know them, see how it could work. And really just, try to help Spain become a winner on the international level. And we'll see how long that takes or how quickly it takes. We'll see.
Do you know much about the center itself? Like, is there facilities for these athletes to live there, or do they have to find their own apartments? What's it like? Do you know?
Mate, great question. There is apartments at Carr. I've stayed there with the British teams that I've coached in Loughborough, and I've stayed there with the Canadian teams.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, there's on-site accommodation. It's actually between the two pools. So on one side is the long course, on the other side, give or take, is the indoor pool. Beautiful indoor pool, beautiful outdoor pool. They've got a lot of money recently, I believe, to upgrade a lot of the facilities and all of that stuff. So all very positive. There is accommodation on campus. I'm going to be honest with you. Would I want to live there as a 44-year-old man for much longer than 2 weeks? Probably not. But if I was a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid who was focused on school and swimming, then maybe. But mate, in and around Sant Cugat, and again, I've been fortunate enough to be there a few times, unconnected to this job, but just being around there. In the town, there's apartments and, there's a couple of hotels we stayed at when we were there. I took a group of athletes there for about a week, maybe, between the Olympics and the ISL. I took like Kylie, Sydney and Summer.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, we took, I think you interviewed me when I was there, actually.
Yeah, I think that was when you were there, yeah.
You did, there you go.
Crazy.
Totally unconnected. But obviously I now know the area a little bit. So no, it's a beautiful place to live and work and coach. And if I was an athlete, I wouldn't hesitate in wanting to swim there. And I'm not saying here Canadian kids, I get that people ask the questions, do they follow, do they do? That's nothing to do with me, all right? Young people make their own decisions. And particularly when we start talking about 15-year-olds, they're 15. Let them develop, let them be with their family, let them decide what they're going to do in the future. And whatever, using that example, whatever young Summer McIntosh wants to do in the future is going to be hugely successful, whether she's coached by Ryan Millett or myself or a lamppost, or they bring in, name a coach, it doesn't matter. So I don't want to say like my door's now closed to Canada. It's in the rearview mirror. I'm always here to help those kids. But my focus now is very much on Spain, helping the Spanish kids be the best they can be. I really hope that they want to. I hope that some of them are willing to, invest in themselves by, I don't even want to say taking a risk, but by stepping out and trying something different. And couldn't be more excited, mate. Couldn't be more excited. Again, sad to be leaving what I'm leaving for numerous reasons, but very, very happy, very excited for the professional opportunities and challenges I'm going to have, and for the family situation that I'm putting my immediate family in, that makes me as a man feel like I'm doing my job right, you know?
Well, listen, mate, I'm friends with Brent Hayden. I got a text from him a couple of days ago, and he was in shock, and he was, you know,
How's he doing? Is he doing all right?
He's doing all right. I think he's going to pass on swimming again. I think he's had his time, but you know, like he just kind of gave you a tribute. He's like, no man's made a bigger impact on Canadian swimming in the last 10 years than him. So I think he was kind of devastated that you were leaving, and it was for Canada, you know. So look, that's just his personal opinion. You've had a massive impact. I'm sure that the athletes in Spain are going to be super excited to get what they're getting, you know. Like, I mean, look what you've done out there. Just on performance real quick, I mean, Summer did have an incredible performance on the weekend. Can you just speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so Summer came to speak to me, maybe it was pretty early on. It was probably just after the Olympics. And she said, you know, I really want to focus more on my medleys. And, you know, I'm not sitting here pretending I'm some genius, because that could not be further from the truth. Me and Ryan, we spoke about it, and we're like, look, her breaststroke just isn't good enough. So we tried to do, well, I mean, listen, we said, no problem. We'll do some medley work, but it can't be at the expense of your freestyle, because that's where you're winning medals, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you know, genius is over here. So there was more medley work. She went down as well and trained with Brett Arkey, I think his surname is. Super nice guy, down in Sarasota for about 3 or 4 weeks probably, in January, when we were very unsure on the whole COVID scenario. I actually got COVID and was out for a week and all of that stuff. So fortunately, she was down there for that, and worked on, I saw all the workouts. I wrote a couple of workouts for her, but she did a lot of medley work down there. And we've continued that since she's been back in the center. And before you know it, breaststroke was looking better. Nowhere near what I thought the splits were going to be when she did that 400 IM this weekend. But I knew she was great at fly. I could tell you some of the sets she does on fly, some of the aerobic backstroke times she does, and then obviously her freestyle. I mean, on the Wednesday, the day before the meet started, she did a sort of a heart rate race pace set. It wasn't big. There was only probably 1,000 meters of stuff that was strong, but you're talking 58's long course, you know. And so she's in great shape. We've known she's in great shape for a while. She works as hard as anybody I know. Would I have expected 429? No. Would I have expected in the 435s, 434 to 436? I would have said possibly. But that
did she shave and rest for this?
Mate, I could give you the set. She went, no. Right, I'm going to pull up my phone here and let me just see if I can see the sets.
I mean, it's just madness. She swam out of her mind. I mean, we're talking about the third fastest 400 IM in history, aren't we?
Yeah, it wasn't expected, mate. She's a talent. You know what I mean? She's a talent.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt.
But she works hard, right? Talent is an overrated word, and I'll be honest, I don't really like it. Right, I'm scanning through pictures of my dog and stuff like that. Hold on. Okay, look, this is probably terrible podcasting for you.
No, it's fine.
She would have gone, I mean, and I'm making this up a little bit. I would have said long course on Monday morning, she would have gone around 6K long course. Monday night, she had weights, and then we had a speed, race pace type set. Her main set, what was her main set? Is that when they got to pick reps? I think they got to pick reps. So pretty much every 9 minutes, they got to pick. Oh, she went 4 100s. And she actually did it. 1 fly, 1 back, 1 breast, 1 free. I think she went like 60.100 fly, 60, 100 back to short course meters. 115, maybe 100 breast. And then finished on the freestyle, I think 55 low, short course, 100 free. All from a push. So that was her main quality set that day, but it was an hour and 40 minutes of swimming. The next day, she came in on Tuesday morning. We would have had a circuit. We would have had a kick set. I think she had some big distance stuff off the top of my head. Let me just quickly check here. Mate, I've got so many workouts on this bloody phone.
Don't lose your phone, mate.
No. There's a soft heart rate. That was Friday. Okay, I'm catching up. That was Monday. That was a sandwich. Okay, so what set was this? Soft heart rate. That would have been Friday. Terrible podcasting again, mate. Apologies.
It's all good. Everyone's hanging by a thread. Look, I can see them all.
Saturday was a build your own session. That's the one I told you where I asked him, what do you think you'll do good today? She didn't get a choice. I think I told you this. Until you're 16, you don't get a choice on what workout you have. So Summers was, I've written the times down. Oh yeah, she had to go a couple of 400s. So she had a 400 just holding pace, a 400 that progressed, and then 100 that progressed. So 2 400s, and I think it was maybe 2 100s. And it was like 440. She had to hold 110. 110 is the like base pace. So it was 440, 434, 103, 438, 428, 101, 440, 421, 58.5. That's a long course from a push.
Wow.
That was a Saturday morning. That would have been a 7K workout. So she was up to still 7Ks, over 7K on the Saturday before. Like I say, the Monday would have been 6K in the morning. The afternoon was just go fast stuff, where she did the 4 100s, if you recall. And then there would have, for her, been 10 100s freestyle on short rest at threshold. Afterwards is a little removal set. The next session on Tuesday, she went a kick set, would have been 6K again. Her kick set was, they went 6 1s, 4 150s. Did she do the second set? Yeah, 3 2s. It's one kick to swim, one swim. Then instead of the 4 150s, she did some medley stuff. And then her main set was 2 300s freestyle, 1 kick, 1 swim, 6 200s backstroke, 1 kick, 2 swim, and then 8 100s breaststroke, 2 kick, 2 swim, 4 freestyle on relatively short rest. But that was a 6K workout. And then the set on Wednesday, mate, I'm going to see if I can pull that up for you. For her, because some of the others were on a bit of a smaller session. Yeah, somewhere on the Wednesday morning was a 5K soft heart rate type set. We've tried this before and it didn't work. Let's see how we go on number 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you scratch it all on, how do you write it all out?
Well, this is on a whiteboard. So in COVID days, we weren't allowed to give out bits of paper, believe it or not. So that's the set she did there. I hope I'm not breaking any secrets here for Swimming Canada or whatever, but I guess this was my workout. So
that's your workout, mate. They don't own everything of you.
3 3s, the 650. So a warm up effectively, and then she progressed some 50s. She did those fly. She actually went a lot quicker than was on there. And then the main bit was 2 rounds of 150 a 50, 4 1s, 2 rounds of 150 a 50, and the 4 1s. A mix of heart rates from like 20 below down to going fast, and then some medley work at the end. So she was 5K on the Wednesday morning long course. She did weights the Wednesday night, and then she raced. So, and then she swam after weights on the Wednesday. So she went double, single, double, and then the racing started on Thursday. They all pretty much did that same flow.
She can work, and she has a talent. She's both those things. So,
and she's a nice kid, and she's got a great family, and all of that stuff. So, from a personal perspective, not continuing to coach someone who could be a real enough. Penny Alexiak won Olympic gold medals. Maggie McNeil won Olympic gold medals. Kylie Mars won medal. This girl is obviously for 15 a generational talent. Yeah, as Penny was and is, and all of that stuff. So I don't worry for her. If the selfishness in me would be, well, oh man, that would have been really nice to keep rolling with. But you know what? Again, that's life. That's the way it is. She's going to be great at whatever she chooses to do, as are all of those kids back in Canada. So I wish them all nothing but the best, and they know where I am. If they ever need any help or advice, I'm only a phone call away. So
have you had a chance to speak with them individually, personally, since the announcement, or not?
A couple of them face to face. Most of them not face to face, just over the phone. As we've been speaking here, I've got numerous messages from, I won't go into the names of them, but and parents. But Yes, a little bit, not as much as I would have liked, and that's something. Again, I'm kind of torn, right? I need to do what's best for me and my family, but I also want to do what's best for them, and they're still in a great situation. Coach Ryan Millett and Jono are fabulous individuals in their fields, and these kids are well looked after. So me sort of interfering, if you like, or I mean, I would never reach out to them to try to interfere, but them reaching out to me to meet or do whatever. I think it's important they now just focus on what's next. I'm here if you need, but I think it's important they build that relationship with those coaches, with their teammates in the go forward, and focus on what comes next. You know, life, like I said, life is never always the way we want it. It's our job to put one foot in front of the other and make the most of it and look after those who are close to us and move on. And again, I'm nothing but thankful for my time with Swimming Canada. I feel fortunate to have been employed by them for 10 years. And I feel like I've done good by them in terms of changing a culture or creating a culture where success comes. It's not always easy. You do have to push and you do have to cajole and that sort of thing, as I'm sure I'll have to in Spain. But no, couldn't be more proud of my time there. And I hope people appreciate what I did for them there, and I wish them nothing but the best in the future.
Well, that's good. Good message, mate. Are you going to be selling up completely, like moving out of Canada, or are you going to keep a residence there?
Well, tricky, mate. It all comes down to visas and stuff, right? As of relatively soon, officially, I won't have a visa, so I have to work on that with some immigration lawyers. I do have a house in Toronto.
So you don't have citizenship or anything? You just had like a work visa?
Yeah, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, mate. So that has a bit of ramifications on my family and stuff too. So, but again, Swimming Canada's been good to me with regards to how I can try to figure that stuff out. I actually had a conversation this morning with immigration people about how we can figure that out. So fingers crossed that gets sorted out and I can still move freely and come in and out as I need to in the short term, because there's a few things I need to sort out. But my guess is, I mean, mate, I wish I'd made more money than I have done in my life, or been better at doing stuff
saving
with it. Yeah, not so much saving it, just putting it into things which, listen, I'm in for anything at any point, mate. That's the problem. Someone says to me, "Hey Ben, look at this virtual horse racing online. It's not even a real race. Do you want to have a go?" Yeah, let's give it a go. What could go wrong? Well, mate, a lot could go wrong. So I do have a house in Toronto. I've been fortunate with that, mate. And people will be bored with this. People don't need to know my domestic situation, but house prices in Toronto have been pretty favorable over the last couple of years since I bought my house. The downside is houses in Sant Cugat. I think it's the second most expensive town in Spain outside of Sant Cugat, outside of San Sebastian again. Keeps coming up. Bill Center in San Sebastian. So I will need that money, I think, to down the line if we're to buy a house in Spain. And again, mate, this is all relatively new. That's not something we've arranged or figured out yet. But my guess is I'd have to sell it. I'd love not to, because that's a nice appreciating asset, which not many other of my assets have ever been. So. So we will see, mate. We will see what happens with that stuff. Like I say, I'm thankful to Swimming Canada. I'm super happy and excited to get working in one of my favorite places in the world with a nation of people who have always been one of my favorites. They're fun. Yeah. They do things with a smile on their face. They're relaxed, maybe a bit too relaxed. Mañana. We'll have to
mate, the food. Oh God, I'm so jealous.
Tell you what, food. I think I'm weighing in right now. Anyway,
well, listen, I appreciate you doing this. Thanks for, you're on holiday right now, so you didn't have to do this. I bugged you, and you said you'd jump on, and look, you're answering questions. A lot of tributes here on the side that I'm looking at from people. A lot of really positive stuff coming out of this, so that's great. Now, listen, you and I are on an app. It's called Any Questions. So if anyone has any follow-up questions for Ben, get on the app, sign up for the app under his referral code. Get on Coach Ben Titley. Ask him questions. He'll jump on. He'll answer some questions. He's been fantastic with it. So get on there and ask some follow-up questions for Ben. But other than that, mate, brilliant. I appreciate you taking the time here.
No, mate, not at all. Is that your way of subtly telling me to answer a few more questions? Because I did it the day you got me to sign up for it, and then I was like, yeah, I'll get back to that another point. I will get back to it. Tell you what I like more than me answering the questions, mate, is listening to the answers.
Yeah. No, I do too.
The other people you've got on there, you know.
Well, so that's why I'm trying to get you to answer, because I love listening to them too. I love it.
For that, mate. That's I guess I'm using it for the wrong reason, but it's very
no.
For listening to people chat.
No, I'm the same, mate. I listen to all the answers and I go through them. I love it, mate. Yeah, so fantastic, and I'm glad you jumped on it. Look, it's awesome, you know. And there's a lot of great coaches, a lot of good swimmers. Some of your former swimmers are on there, you know. Some of McIntosh is on there answering questions, so you can ask her questions too. But yeah, it's just a good way to connect with the swimming community, mate, and do some
it is. Yeah, it is. I see James Gibson answering questions.
Yep,
I learn things off him, and all of those guys. It's very, very, you
know who else is on there, mate, that you're gonna have a relationship with is Sergio Lopez. He's got some Spanish guys that.
I've seen some of his answers. Yeah, I have.
Yeah. He's got some boys that are pretty good too. So, well, listen, you know, it was a great run in Canada, but listen, for Spain, hey, you know, they've kind of fallen off the map a little bit in previous years. So this could be a really exciting period of time. You know, for them. So, well, good for them. A big pickup, mate, and congratulations on the move for you and your family. All right.
Yeah, very excited, mate. And again, they've been, you know, the people in Spain have been the best in terms of sorting this out and approach. The way they've approached it with me the last week or so has been really first class. So look forward to getting over there. And you know, some of my best friends in coaching are over there. Fred Vanu, for example, and people like that. So I've been chatting with him quite a lot today. Actually,
Fred was the one who told me about the announcement. Actually,
I actually wanted to tell him before it got announced, but I didn't realize it popped out a bit quicker than I thought it was going to, and I didn't get that chance. So it's funny, you messaged me when I was in Whole Foods, and so I sent him a text saying, "Fred, look, dude, I'm sorry, I wanted to let you know this and all of that jazz before anybody else." He's actually the only person I've messaged about it to this point, but I didn't. I just got pipped. I got pipped by someone faster. So
someone
but I really look forward to it. You know, Sean's been my roommate at Olympics. Fred's been my roommate at Olympics, and so I love being around smart people. I love chatting to people who love swimming, who love sport, who love performance. And I really hope I can do that a lot with the Spanish coaches, and obviously working with athletes, the best athletes, to get the best results they can. But
well, listen, mate, Barcelona's in my top 3 in the world too. So if you ever need an assistant down the line, you know, you got my number. So, you know, maybe
I'd love to have you come in and do some work with people and share ideas and map things around. That's the way we get better. People who just stay in their own little island, their own little box. It's not the way growth works, you know. So
no. I love it, mate.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Perfect. All right. Well, listen, get back to your holiday. Enjoy it. Thanks for doing this. We'll get it out so people can stop asking questions, and you've answered everything you need to answer. So cheers, mate.
Good man. Thanks a lot.
I'll see you, mate. Bye.
Cheers.